Cowboys Nation, what is going on? We are back live with me and my man, Captain Rob. What's going on, brother?
Yo, the boys back in town. Let's go. Let's do it.
Hey, look, it's so crazy, bro, because it's about to start snowing. I think they're calling for like 6 or 7 inches of snow. I don't like the snow, bro, but the best time when it does snow is if it's on a weekend. That's all good. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want out of it. Yeah.
It's not like we're kids anymore waiting for school to be off. Like, I hate the snow now. It's like, yo, man, come on, man, get this shit out of my face.
I know, right? It seemed like whenever it snows around here, bro, it's always when I'm at work, bro. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you don't want any of that. You know what I'm saying? But happy Friday to everybody. I'm not on TikTok today, but that's okay. What's up to the Facebook side, YouTube side? What it do, y'all? Y'all already know what it is. JC Cowboys Network. We're back at it again. Draft show. We got a lot of things to talk about, guys. You know, with the Dallas Cowboys, we're bringing in so many coaches. We're going to be bringing in more players. But when you're saying guys like Greg Ellis, I got to look at the guys' names because, these are like new guys here. Paul Gunther and Jeff Zagonina.
Zagonia. That's what we're going to call it. That's what I'm going with. Zagonia.
Zagonia. Okay. Yeah. See, the thing is, man, like when you...
Hey, Coach Z.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like when you see like these defensive coaches, but when you bringing in a guy like Mike Zimmer, we know that it was going to be an energy shift. You know what I'm saying? And usually with these type of guys, whenever you have a new defensive coordinator, they tend to bring in defensive line coaches, linebacker coaches, and this guy has a big time connection with all three of these guys. And I mean, we just got to see how this all plays out. Like when you're looking at guys like Greg Ellis, I got a lot of respect for him. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy that when he played for the Dallas Cowboys, with the whole Randy Moss thing, I know how that all goes. But the thing is, when you have a guy like Greg Ellis that knows the defensive line, I think he's just going to make it that much better for everybody else on the defensive line, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, first I want to say, thank you to everybody who tunes in every week with us, right? JC was just telling me the other week, I was like, yo, man, like I hope our words are reaching somebody higher in the organization. What we do matters, man, and we do our homework out here. What we do different from the 4-letter networks and 3-letter networks. We do our homework, right? Mm-hmm. We actually, we get into our bag on this stuff. Like we're passionate about this. So we're not just out here doing a fanboy stuff. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. We try to bring y'all the best product every week.
Every week, and man.
The off season just kicking off too, man. It's gonna be.
It's gonna be dynamite. We got so much stuff to talk about with the college all 22s, the free agents coming in. It's just amazing. I mean, the unique videos that we make, that's one thing that we want to push when it comes down to JC Cowboys Network. That's the only way you're going to be able to stand out. So you got to have that type of energy. So it's so good. And one thing about the Dallas Cowboys, there's always something new to talk about. You know what I mean? So as far as Greg Ellis, bro, how do you feel about him, running with this defensive line and getting these guys right?
Yo, so first of all, to all the youngsters who don't really know about Greg Ellis is the third all-time leading sack artist for the Dallas Cowboys, behind DeMarcus Ware and I believe Charles Haley. Who's first? Probably DeMarcus Ware than somebody. D Ware than Charles Haley.
Yeah, D Ware, yeah, but he up there though.
Yeah, Greg Ellis is
he was very consistent
for sure. Greg Ellis is mostly known for Greg should have been Randy Moss Ellis, right? But Greg Ellis was a hell of a player for a long time, right? He got drafted in '98, right? He got a lot of his coaching from Bill Parcells, right? Great player for a long time. He had a big Achilles injury towards the end of his season, but he came back and he became a technician, right? And that's what hopefully he brings to this defensive line. Like his technique was like that, right? So when you get former players who become coaches, it's not about the scheme. The scheme's gonna be whatever Coach Zim says the scheme is, right? But now Greg Ellis can get in his bag and really teach, people like Micah Parsons real defensive end work, right? When you're lining up and really rushing the passer, this is what you need to do to help stop the run. All three of these coaches have one thing in common: they're all we brought in a run game coordinator, which we've never had, right? And two defensive line, basically 3 front 7 coaches, right? So this is big. Like we're addressing we're addressing issues, right?
Yeah.
We're not just doubling down on our strengths. We're addressing issues. Go ahead.
Issues. And the thing that's so good about it though is, bro, like, you know, when you have a guy like Greg Ellis that's connected with guys like Mike Zimmer, and remember, bro, he wasn't like the most athletic guy. You know what I'm saying? He was that try hard guy with a lot of energy. That's why when you say technician, making sure you're using your hands, hand placement, aggression, making sure you have a high motor, little things like that. If you can be able to implement that when it comes down to everybody on the defensive line, I think that it'll be fine, because the thing is about him, he was very, very consistent. He was having 8 and 9. I think one season he had like 11 sacks. But when you do have a player like that that can be able to, you know, implement certain little hand techniques when it comes down to these defensive linemen, it's going to go a long way. And we all know when it comes down to this defense, it starts off with that front seven. So when you see these guys bringing in these type of coaches, we know that we got to be paying close attention when it comes down to the draft, as well as free agency as well, because like when you have these linebacker coaches and defensive line guys coming in, we might be making some moves when it comes down to free agency, bro.
Right. And Greg Ellis was a big boy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was a big boy. I don't know his exact weight, his playing weight. But he was a big dude. After he got that Achilles injury, like I said, he came back like a super technician. So like he had to redefine his game. And that's kind of what we have to do this defense, right? We have to redefine the way we play defense, right? Yeah. We have a good defense. We have a good defense, right? Mm-hmm. Dan Quinn did a good job, right? Like, I'm not going to knock Dan Quinn, right? Now that the Green Bay game is over and the emotions have slowed down.
I'm not going to knock the guy, but sometimes when you get to the play, you got to take that next step. But he's done a good job, bro.
Absolutely. 93 turnovers, tops in sacks. Like, we had a good defense, right? But now we're going to play fundamental, physical defense, and that's what Mike Zimmer's bringing. I'm getting more excited about Mike Zimmer, especially with these hires, because now he's bringing in his guys, right? We'll get to the other two here in a second. So
yeah, facts, man. The thing is about Mike Zimmer, man, it's so good when you see a guy that, because he did take a year off, and you got to think about guys like Mike McCarthy. Sometimes when you're bringing these guys in, or when you're bringing in a whole new coach, some of these guys, they might have took a year off. Maybe they needed to take some time so they can be able to get their mental right. So just bringing these guys in on the defensive line, I think that'll be fine. But when you think about guys like Paul Gunther, so he was a defensive assistant in Minnesota, and he's been connected to Mike Zimmer as well. He was a defensive coordinator for Cincinnati Bengals from 2014 to 2017, and he was a defensive coordinator for the Raiders from 2018 to 2020. So experience is key, you know what I mean? And that just makes these defensive players that much more confident when you got these guys knowing what they're talking about, Rob.
Right. And one thing I want to point out, kind of from the top down, coaches get their promotions when they excel at something, right? So like, for instance, when we had Wade Phillips, right? He was an excellent defensive coordinator, but then when he became head coach, he was kind of wonky, right? But then as soon as he went back to defensive coordinator, I think he came from the Chargers to us and then back to the Rams. Mm-hmm. When he was a defensive coordinator, his defenses were stout, right? Yep. Same thing with Zimmer now, right? He's an excellent defensive coordinator for us. He made his money with us. Then he got his defensive coordinator, then his head coach with Cincinnati, with Minnesota, whatnot. But now that Mike Zimmer is back to just being a defensive coordinator, that's his thing, right? So that's going to make us better. And Paul Gunther, right? He was a defensive coordinator. Those Cincy teams, but like he was I think his niche, excuse me, is linebackers, right? So he was the developer of like people like Vontaze Burfict, right? If you remember Vontaze Burfict, he's a guy that hit Antonio Brown so hard he went crazy, right? Yeah. Right. So
that's why I think that they love physical. They love physical big linebackers.
Exactly.
I want to throw that in there, yeah.
And that's what I'm very excited about. If you guys remember from last season, I was preaching. I was like, "Yo, we are light in the linebacker room, not just with numbers, but we're light in our stature in the linebacker room. We got some very physically depleted linebackers, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So." I'm excited, right? So he's another guy who's going from defensive coordinator back to his niche, which is linebackers, front seven, right?
I love that, Rob. I love that. Like, the thing is, that's why I say when you think about Dan Quinn, like, I just think that Dan Quinn he's perfect to be a defensive coordinator, but egos, right? Like, all these coaches, they have some type of ego. Usually when they do so good at defensive coordinator, everybody want to hire you. And you got to think about it. Dan Quinn, after his first year, I mean, you had teams, NFL teams calling him. He was going on interviews. So the writing was kind of on the wall when it came down to guys like Dan Quinn. But I think that when it comes down to that defensive coordinator position, some guys are just good just being there. Like Ron Rivera, I felt good about, possibly him coming in, or a lot of these guys, even Rex Ryan. Only reason why I say that is because of the talent that we got on this team, bro.
Exactly. And I think the reason why Dan Quinn stayed with us for so long, he fell in love with guys like Micah and like Trevon and, these other guys, right? He's like, I want to coach these guys to a championship. We fell short, of course, but that's the reason why I think he stayed with us for so long. And like Dan Quinn, he went to a Super Bowl as a head coach. You got to give him his credit, right? He was up 28-3, right? Yeah. Then, it went down from there. We all remember that Super Bowl, right? So yeah. Dan Quinn could be a good head coach, right? We'll see what he does in DC. If I'm a Commanders fan, right after the Green Bay game, I'm kind of like, damn, like we hired this dude. But then when you really start to look at it, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good for DC. That like they're developing a new brain trust over there, right? Yeah. Watch out for DC in the next couple of years.
Man, you just gotta adjust, man. When it comes down to the defenses or these offenses in the NFL, remember we was talking earlier, bro. You have so many athletes out there, and sometimes when you go into these games, you gotta have 2 and 3 different schemes in your back pocket. But not only that, you have to be able to fit in and have the right personnel. Don't go into these games when you got undersized linebackers. I'm about 220, 230. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 225, 230. The thing is, when you got a guy that's like 220 pounds, 215 pounds playing a linebacker position, you will get washed out of plays. That's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's food when it comes down to offensive linemen and getting to the second level. So I just think that, with this whole ordeal, when it comes down to this whole new defensive coaches, I think that they're going to be locked in on free agency and the draft, but they just got to go do it. Don't get too cute. Hopefully, Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones can just take the back seat on this, and for these guys, and so these guys can go out there and go get the right guys in there, so we can get to work, man.
What I'm hoping they do is do the same thing that happened when Dan Quinn came in. When Dan Quinn came in, if you remember, that year we brought in 3 free agents on defense. And then we drafted 6 straight defensive players on defense. That was the Micah Parsons draft, right? That never happens in Dallas, right? So that's awesome. So like, I mean, hopefully they just sit back and be like, "Yo, Dan, we brought you in for a reason. Mike McCarthy bought Dan Quinn, or Mike McCarthy bought in Coach Zimmer for a reason, right?" And I think, and like last week we were talking about culture, right? And Zimmer is a no nonsense guy, right?
No nonsense.
He's like a poor man's Jimmy Johnson, right? He's one of these guys that like you're gonna be afraid to fail for him. Like you don't want to disappoint this dude, right? He's gonna be in your face. Like Dan Quinn was a player's coach, right? Which sometimes that works, and it worked for us for a little bit, right?
He gave him nicknames and everything, bro. I mean, man, that's all good.
Going out to the bar with them and everything, right? Having a drink. Coach Zimmer's like, nah, bro, you're not my friend. Like, we have a job to do. And sometimes that's what we need. That's what we need right now, going 2024. Like, I hope he says, like, yo, Mike Parsons, until you win a championship, no more podcast, bro.
Right? Hey, please, bro. I feel as though that, when it comes down to the podcast, just let this. I mean, can they just leave that to us, bro? All the content creators, the guys that's out there, you know what I'm saying? Can I get an air horn? Come on, man. We put in this work, you know what I mean? So he just got to go out there and ball out. And I mean, I got so much respect for guys like Micah Parsons, but it's just so much bigger. It's just these guys, the core guys, the Dak Prescotts, the Zach Martins, the DeMarcus Lawrences. These guys are not getting any younger. And I mean, it's a lot of people that's going to be watching out here. Like, we have a lot of confidence when it comes down to our Dallas Cowboys, but they got to go out there and prove it to us. We ain't going to hype these guys up. You got to get these guys in and get these guys going, man. So it's going to be big time.
And like, really, like, these guys better shape up or ship out. Like, I think the writing's on the wall for a couple of guys. We'll probably get into that a little bit later, but like, the DeMarcus Lawrences of the world, right? If you guys want to know a little bit more about Greg Ellis, think about put 20 pounds on DeMarcus Lawrence, and then put some technique behind him, and put like just grit, and like he was like a grit dude, right?
Yeah.
Greg Ellis is that dude. Like
he was that dude for real.
He was the guy before DeMarcus Ware.
And he was I know everybody was so mad about the whole Randy Moss thing, and Randy Moss. I know, bro. We was heated. We was
I was like 12 years old talking about, What happened?
But it's so crazy though, bro, because he was so consistent though. You know what I'm saying? And he was like one of the safest, solid picks in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Because of how long he stayed in his career with the Dallas Cowboys. And then now look at him becoming a coach. So, I mean, that's always good to see. But, I mean, these guys got to get to work. They got to get to work, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see. Shout out to Luis. Hey, shout out to Aaliyah. What's going on, Aaliyah? Hey, Aaliyah, I ain't seen you in a minute. Where you been at, Aaliyah? What's going on? All right, my man said Minnesota. We shall see. I believe it was the Jones who hired Zimmer, not McCarthy. I mean, hey, look, he's here now. He's here now. So at this point now, I mean, I was listening to his press conference, and I like this energy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he was saying, he didn't really give up too much about the scheme when it comes down to guys like Micah Parsons. But one thing he did say, though, what did he say? He was like, the ones who want to be great, they want to be coached. You know what I'm saying? And when you think about things like that, you think about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, he loves Dan Quinn. You think about Trayvon Diggs. Like, if you're going to be able to reach greatness, you got to be able to listen. You got to be a sponge. But on top of that, you got to have the athleticism and that grit and that determination. But at the same time, I think that, you know, with his type of energy, it's going to take a little bit of time to get things going. But I think that once we get we lock in, I think we'll be good, bro.
Yeah. And like, for all you like doubters on Mike Zim too, man, like, his defenses were stout in Minnesota. Like, he had a number one defense, I believe, in like 2015. He had like seven of his 10 years there. He had top 10 defenses, right? In terms of points, right? They got out to the quarterback. You know, they turned the ball over, right? They bought in good players. They evaluated talent. I think it's going to work well with Will McClay, right? They're really going to address the issues on this team, and I think we're going to be better for it, man. Like, it's February 16th. I think we're already starting to get better. Right. And, you know, that might be optimism speaking, but whatever. I'm a Cowboys fan. I gotta have optimism.
Yeah, but that's why, like, when you look at it, I'm probably gonna end up doing a whole film session on how his defense operates. You know what I'm saying? I've been running all these player breakdowns and stuff like that. But I mean, just to see, like, one of the things that stand out when it comes down to Mike Zimmer's type of defense, how big the linebackers are and what he's doing with the linebackers. Double A, I mean, these guys are, I mean, they're pressing in the A gaps. Sometimes these guys are blitzing. It might be one guy, it might be the other guy. Then you got guys that's going out and they're bluff blitzing just to be able to give that quarterback something extra to think about. But not only that, he does like his free safeties, the Harrison Smiths. And remember, Harrison Smith was one of the guys that really played in the box. So you never know, man, when it comes down to this type of defensive coordinator, it is wide open when it comes down to the draft. If he feels as though he can get somebody in there that can make a difference at any position, I think that he's going to go for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's always good, though. You know what I mean? Because at this point now, I mean, they're not good enough yet to get there. I think that with Mike Zimmer, I think he'll get us to where we need to be.
Yeah. And like, and I think it's just a good compliment to Coach McCarthy. Like we talked about last week, McCarthy's not gonna be able to just turn it on like that and be like, yo, I'm a no nonsense guy now, right? But so he brought in a defensive coordinator who is a no nonsense guy. He's filling in his gap, so he's learning, right? Like, he knows this might be his last season. So whether it was him or Jones who brought him in, I'm sure it was a team decision, right? As your coach, your head coach should be very involved in who your defense coordinator is. But yeah, he saw a deficit in the team, a deficit in his personality, and he's like, yo, let me go get a grit guy. Let me go get a gritty guy, because Dan Quinn's a nice guy, right? He's a player's coach, right? You know, he's a hell of a coach, but he's not a yo, you messed up, you better go run 5 laps type guy, right? Yeah. So, you know, we'll see. Hey,
sometimes when you have those type of coaches, man, it just brings the best out of you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm John like for it, because we've had coaches that was like that, and I mean, that's a good thing, because you gain so much respect for these guys. And at this point now, it's go time. But as far as guys like Stephon Gilmore, right? I don't know if you have a guy that you really, really want to bring back as far as the defense. But with me, I feel as though when it comes down to guys like Stephon Gilmore, I know he's had his games where it was kind of looking a little bit shaky, but you got to keep in mind that this guy is an older player, but he's still a very, very good player. He's solid. He knows the cornerback position very, very well. But my thing is with him, you want to make sure that you pick this guy in position. One thing about him, I mean, just being consistent, being able to tackle, and being a leader for guys like Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs. It reminds me of Mike Zimmer. Remember when we had Terrence Newman and he went on to go play for the Minnesota Vikings for a few years, and I think they had Xavier Rhodes. That's when Xavier Rhodes was really, really young. Was it Xavier Rhodes, bro?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So Xavier Rhodes. So that kind of reminds me of like Trayvon Diggs being a young player, being one of those stout players like that. I just feel as though that, when you have a veteran cornerback out there, it's just going to make it better for everybody on the defense with Deron Bland and guys like Trayvon Diggs, bro.
Yeah, there's two guys that I want to bring back. I think one on offense for me is obviously Tyron Smith. He proved it to me he can still play at a high level. And on defense, it's Stephon Gilmore. Stephon Gilmore, so you can say he's lost his step, right? He's not the athlete that he was, when he won Defensive Player of the Year. But his experience, his leadership qualities is something that I want in my cornerback too, right? It's gonna be hard pressed to find cornerback two of his quality, and that's just something I don't want to have to worry about. There wasn't too many times this season where I was like, "Oh man, there go Gilmore again, getting burnt." Right?
Yeah, and you want to know one thing about the secondary, bro? Whenever they have quiet games, that's always a good thing.
right. I ain't hear Gilmore's name at all this season, except when he was making some plays.
Yeah.
So I'm good on Gilmore. Right? We got Mary Mack for the right price. Right? And I can't wait for a cap show. Like, I'm telling you, JC Cowboy Network fans, I'm trying to tell you, I've been doing the math, and the mathing, right? I'm a numbers guy, right? I'm about to go get my bookkeeping certification. So for all you business owners out there, holler at your boy. But yeah, so I'm telling you, the math is mathing on the cap. We can make $82 million in cap space, right? So we can bring back a Gilmore, we can bring back a Tyron, and we can go get players, right? But
here's the thing, though. I know that we can be able to get a lot of money in the cap, but does that stress us in the future years, though? Because you got to keep in mind, when you think about all these core players that we've been talking about, Rob, you don't want anything to bite you in the butt once we get down to, a lot of these guys are gone. I know that this team wants to win now, but I think you got, at this point now, you want to be aggressive, but you got to be a little bit calculated because you don't want to put yourself in no hole.
I don't care about the future. Okay, I care about next year. Okay, I don't give a damn about 3 years from now because honestly, the way we do our contracts, you're always going to be able to kick the can down the road, right? We always have voided years. We always not to get too much in the cap stuff, but like there's three things we can do with Dak. We can cut him. Right, which would be a detriment to our cap space, or we can restructure his contract, or we can extend him. Right, if we restructure his contract, that's going to create $21 million in cap space. If we extend him, it'll create 26. Right, so for all you guys that are in or out on Dak, we don't have to extend Dak. Right, I'm so sick of this.
Bro, they're gonna probably end up doing that though, bro.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fine. Yeah. But like, we don't have to. And all you guys who listen to ESPN and all that, they don't do their homework, right? You don't have to extend Dak to create cap space. You can restructure his contract. You could put half of that cap space, that's $59 million, onto the voided year of year 6 that's already on his contract. You don't need his permission for that, right? All you can do is just push a button, and that cap space is now for 2026, right? So you don't necessarily have to extend Dak. Me personally, I don't want to extend Dak because I think he has to earn it, right? I think he has to. He's earned it. He's earned it. JC, he's earned it. He's earned it. But we're spoiled. Like, we're okay, cool. 12-5. We all know 12-5 is cool, but we're Cowboy fans, so we want the bigger thing, right? And until you do it in the bigger thing, I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire, right? And that might cost us a few million. Like, if he goes on to win the Super Bowl next year, it might cost us an extra $50 million.
Yeah, but I don't care how much it costs, bro. If you win the Super Bowl,
if we won the Super Bowl next year, man, please, I go down and start donating that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about that. But back to it, like, we can create cap space to bring in Mike Zimmer, defensive guys, big guys.
You have to.
The Daniel Hunters of the world, the Patrick Queens of the world, the Levante Davis, the Devin Whites of the world. We can go get some names. Like we have to start holding this franchise accountable right?
Mm-hmm.
Like last year when we brought in Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore, hey, that was fantastic. We addressed the two big needs.
I like that too.
But then we kind of stopped there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. That's the thing. But I think that with Stephon Gilmore and Brandon Cooks, that was a good move. But you have to. I mean, we've seen what happened last year in the playoffs. So I mean,
sorry, hold on. Pop NFC's NFC. Pop his thing up on the screen real quick.
He said MVP.
Yeah. MVP numbers. He still needs to earn it. I hear you, bro. I hear you. Yeah. But when you go on one of the playoffs.
Yeah, but with me though, Rob,
I hear you.
It's so hard for me though. Like when it comes down to Dak Prescott, man, I got so much respect for the guy, and it's so hard to find these quarterbacks in this league. Like there are so many bum squads with quarterbacks, So I think that with Dak Prescott, this is a big time year for him. Right. Mike McCarthy, Mike Zimmer, all of these guys, man. I mean, when you think about everybody on this team, but I will say this though, bro. I feel as though that this team is not far away, but just like we've been talking about, they have to be aggressive in the draft. You have to be aggressive in free agency. If you be light and continue to keep on doing the things that you've been doing, it's going to be the same results. You look pretty in the regular season. Once you get down to the playoffs, these teams start scheming on you.
Jason, let me piggyback on that. Like I was watching Skip show. What's it called? Undisputed with Michael Irvin, Keyshawn today, right? Keyshawn kept on saying that we have no chance at getting a guy like Derrick Henry because he wants to go to a team that's ready to win a championship. We were the second seed, right? Yeah, we mopped down the playoffs, but we were the second seed. You can't say that we're not ready to win a championship. I can see if we went 7-10. I can see if we didn't make the playoffs. I can see, if we just kind of skirted in the playoffs, whatever. We were 12-5.
Yeah.
The Ravens didn't win. San Francisco didn't win. Philly didn't win, right? Like we have the team to we're only a few pieces away. We're a few pieces away.
Hey, look, that's why I say this, y'all. Like I think that the core, as far as the offensive line, the defensive line, the linebackers, if we can be able to shape that up, just that, you know what I'm saying? If we can be able to put that sole focus on those three position groups, this team is going to be totally different. Right. Because you've seen the wide receivers, you've seen the tight end, Jake Ferguson. Shout out to him. All of these position groups that we have, the offensive line, as far as the center, we'll see what happens with that. The defensive line, the one technique, getting stout. If you've seen the Kansas City game, bro, they were stouting at the defensive tackle position. And that's part of the reason why they were kind of they wasn't fully stopping Christian McCaffrey, but they were keeping him at bay. That's why that defensive tackle position is so important, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we've been pressing Mozzie Smith, but I think eventually, he'll get it going.
Right. And like just so I see they're starting to chat it up about Dak in the comments.
My man said, "Sorry, Cap." He said, "Sorry, Cap. Your Dak is your best option. 3-12-5 seasons, yet knocked the playoff record. When he's only one player. Yeah, look, man. That's what I'm saying.
KJ,
talk about that last KJ's.
Yo, KJ, bro. Again, I hear you. Like he's our best option, but when are we going to start raising the bar to be like, yo, it's championship or bust? I know he's going to give us the best chance, at least for the last 8 years, he's given us the best chance, right? We've gone 12-5, 3 straight years. I can't disagree with you, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I like Dak Prescott, but it comes to a time.
Okay, Rob, so how you feel about mopping out for a long time, for multiple years, without having
to been 8 years.
Everything's all sweet and good, but when he's gone, then everybody going to be out here looking shocked.
So that's what I'm saying. So all right. So take a team like San Fran, right? They keep on building. They keep on building the team, right? And just to pick up what you said, we have a core group of all-stars, right? Now, if you can go get them a core group of homegrown all-stars, rookies, right? It's the CDs, the Micahs, right? Everybody on their first-year contract, Tyler Smiths of the world, Fergies, right? Trayvon Diggs, right? Now take that group and now go get them some free agents, right? Combine that together. Of course, Dak can go win us a championship. Yes, he's going to be our best option. But if we do all that and he mops out again next year, KZ, let me ask you a question. If KJ and NFC, if he mops out again next year, then what are you going to say? Is it going to be time to go, or is it going to be like, yo, let's just reset it again? I'm of the volition that I'm gonna give you.
Rob,
I give you a decade. I give you a decade.
Hey, Rob, I think you think it's sweet, bro. It's so hard to find these quarterbacks, and I know that. Like when you think about the draft, I mean, there's so many quarterbacks that's out there, but like when you have a guy that's been putting up MVP numbers, like we watch these games, we study this, we watch it on all 22. A lot of this pressure, it just seems like that's why we've been talking about the main route. One thing I love about Cowboys Nation, they're not trying to point the fingers. They're talking about culture, bro. That's huge. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And I say the coaches lost the game too. Go ahead, my fault.
Yeah, it just seems that the culture wasn't there like it was in the 90s. That's the kind of energy that you want within this whole team, and it's not going to just come down to the quarterback. The quarterback is a big position. I mean, it's the number one position in football. But the thing is, it has to be a collective thing. And I just think that there was other areas of concern that we have to get right, because I just think that Dak Prescott, if everything can just get clicking, we can get things going, bro.
And again, no doubt,
debate, man. But we gotta have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'll have plenty of Dak debate. And and going to next year, I said it for 2 years now. Dak's gonna be our quarterback through the end of his contract at least. All I'm saying is, don't extend him just yet, right? We can still restructure his contract and create cap space, right? It's only gonna be a $5 million difference. We hear you, but Jerry Jones is not going to go through 10,000 quarterbacks like he did because he told you were too young. Sorry. No, look, guys, I'm on your side, man. I'm on your side. I don't want to be. I'm not a Dak. I love Dak. I love Dak.
Definitely love Dak. But I know
love Dak. I'm on your side. I won't be. I'm not
going to have. Yeah, like this is just what it is. Like
it just is what it is. Like this is a business. This is a business. And if you don't get it done after 10 years, I have to look for another option.
It's been a long time. That's one thing. Let's just keep it honest right now. It's been a real long time with Dak Prescott, and we know he got the skill set, but I just think about, not having quarterbacks, and I just look at the core. I'm so big when it comes down to the trenches. I just think that, there are better ways when it comes down to being able to build this. It's not going to just come down to Dak Prescott, but just like you said, bro, it's a big year for him, so we'll definitely see.
And one of the ways we can make Dak Prescott better is revamping this running game. Let's get into it.
Yes, that's where we're going at now, right? This is perfect. Yes. Nice segue. That's why you're my partner. You know what I'm saying?
That's why you're my man, dog. Hey, I always feel you, bro.
Yeah, because it's such a long conversation when it comes down to all of that. But we're going to be talking about that.
Hey guys, I love Dak. I love Dak.
We got to keep it real.
From the time Dak threw 15 years, last thing, sorry, JC.
No, you good.
From the time Dak threw 15 interceptions last year, I was the one saying in that year, I believe he actually got better as a quarterback because he got more confidence in himself. He was like, I could throw 3 picks, go down 3 scores, and still win by 35, right? Remember the Tennessee game last year? He threw 3 picks, 3 straight turnovers, won the game by 21. It was easy, right? He started to get more confidence in his defense, right? He started oh, okay, cool. Like I can take these chances and make mistakes, right? You see, Patrick Mahomes takes plenty of chances. He's really good, so a lot of those chances go through. Josh Allen takes plenty of chances. He leads the league in touchdowns, but he also leads the league in turnovers, right? But you saw that transfer to this season when Dak went 36-9 in the MVP race, 12-5, right? The one thing, it just in the playoff game, this is where I need my quarterback. Yeah, your defense is mopping out, but then you can't go through 2 picks. You need to bring everybody in and be like, yo, everybody take a deep breath, relax. I got this. You can't just go. You can't be fighting with CeeDee Lamb, right? You can't be going 3 and out. You can't throw a pick 6, right? That first interception was pass interference, but it was still a pick, right? Led to 14 points. Like, you can't do that in the playoff game. But I believe in Dak that he'll get better, right? This is the first year in really Mike McCarthy-led offense, right? But and also, again, segue, we're about to get into it. What we lacked in that game was a running game and toughness and culture. Like, culture is toughness. Toughness is the running game. Running game is football. I know everybody says this is still a quarterback league. Defense has gotten better. Like defenses adapt, right? You still have to run the football. JC, let's get into it.
Yeah, man. Hey, definitely got to run the football, man. I appreciate that. But the good thing is, man, like when you're looking at the draft and you're looking at all of these players, if we go back down to memory lane, right? So let's go to memory lane.
Yeah.
When you think about the mid-round gems, you got guys like DeMarco Murray, you got Tony Pollard. DeMarco Murray was a 3rd-round pick. Tony Pollard was a 4th-round pick, and Marion Barber, rest in peace to him, he was a 4th-round pick. The thing is, you can be able to find gems when it comes down to the mid-rounds. You can find gems in free agency. Just go out there and go get a running back. And I'm not sure what the going rate is for these running backs. We will get into that. But just seeing these guys, I don't want to press it when it comes down to the first rounds and the second rounds when you're going to go try to go when you're on a hunt for a running back. 3rd round, 4th round, I think that you can be able to find a lot of talent out there. I did want to talk about, let me see. I know you was talking about guys like Derrick Henry, right? I might end up doing a video on Derrick Henry, but the thing is with guys like Derrick Henry, I think that, with his type of skill set, it just depends on how much this guy is going to want. We know that this guy is a bulldozer. He has really, really made a stamp on this league, and we'll just see how the money shapes out when it comes down to his numbers. But I think that with his type of skill set last year, you didn't really see him as much on 3rd downs, but just being a guy that can be able to be an imposer out there and go out there and set the tone, I think that'll be good for this type of scheme if they can be able to, utilize him and get him going, bro.
Let me ask you a question, right? See, we create all this cap space. If I can say, JC, I'll give you Derrick Henry and bring back Tony Pollard for $13 million combined. Would you do it?
You said, and bring back Tony Pollard?
Yep. For $13 million.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the going rate for running back, 6 or 7 million.
That's what Spot Track and PFF are. They're grading Derrick Henry anywhere between like 4 to 8 million, right? Because of his age, because of the tread, whatever, because of his age, you know what I'm saying? And then of course, like the down year that Tony Pollard had, which he did have a down year. He wasn't lead back, but if you could put Tony Pollard behind a Derrick Henry, right? And kind of have like that Zeke Pollard thing again, right? And then you bring in a rookie guy that we get in the 3rd or 4th round. I don't think we have a 4th rounder, but I'm saying we'll make trades.
We don't got a 4th rounder. Yeah.
You bring in those 2 guys, and you bring in a 3rd guy. Like I think we're gonna go with Blake Corum and the guy from Oregon. Like that. That's revamping the running game. That's solidifying the running game. Now we just have to use it, right? So.
Yeah, big time. That's why I say, like, these running backs, like when you're looking at a lot of these running backs that's coming out, like we did want to talk about Blake Corum, and we know that, I mean, he played for Michigan. Those guys won the championship last year. This guy has put in a lot of work, and having that stop-start type of ability, it's hard to be able to find that at the running back position. And just being a guy that can be consistent, as you can see on this play right here, just being able to have a good cut, quick decision maker is great, because it makes me think about guys like Tony Pollard. We know Tony Pollard goes out there and puts in a lot of work, and I mean, endurance. You got to be a leader at that running back position. I think with this type of guy here, just consistently going out there and doing it game in and game out, if he can continue to keep doing things like this, I think that he can be one of the top dogs in this league. But he's going to have to go out there and prove it, because he's not the biggest guy. I think he's about 5'8" or 5'9".
He said, rewind that to get off me, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, the dude, running in between the tackles, he pretty much got it all, man. Yeah, and one thing, he's a willing blocker. He's not the best blocker. You can always get better at blocking with the technique things. But I think that with his type of ability, fourth or 5th round, you know what I'm saying? He might go between the 3rd and 5th round. A lot of these running backs, it kind of reminds me of the Marion Barbers and the DeMarco Murrays. You can be able to find a gem in the mid rounds, bro.
Yeah, no, I like him a lot. And he has breakaway speed, right? Mm-hmm. So you see these little runs up the sideline where he's getting out of bounds, right?
Yeah, look at this play right here.
Back in the day, they would have called that soft, because he did like take on the tackler and try to get the extra yard. Well, I think that's smart. Hey man, if it's only 1 yard, man, get out of bounds, bro. Save yourself some tread. So I like that. So it kind of shows, a little bit of intelligence. But he's small.
He said careful, Harbaugh doesn't go get him. Yeah, he might.
He's a Harbaugh guy, right? So like, he's gonna be tough, right? He runs tough. He runs low to the ground, right? He has speed. He can run away from you. I don't see a lot of like juking ability, but like,
he could juke, bro. He definitely juke. Yeah, he got it in. He got it in him. Like, he's one of those guys that's pretty. He has it all in him. Once he gets the ball in his hands, the stop ability, and just having that vision, I really, really like this kid. And I mean, he was one of the guys that a lot of analysts and a lot of scouts, they've been talking about him, and he's going to be sneaky. He kind of reminds me of that Kyron Williams type of running back. You know what I'm saying? So I think that if he can go out and put it on the field, yeah, he's looking like him to me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that if he gets it with the right offense, I think that this guy can be able to do some damage.
Just because of his stature, he reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew.
Stature. Mm-hmm.
That just like small, but like stocky, stout running back. Like, we'll see his measurables as the combines and whatnot come up. But yeah, I like him. I definitely like his tape a lot.
Yeah, my man said Corum always get caught from behind. I don't know if he got breakaway speed league wise, but that's okay though. That's okay. So hey, some running backs they don't have that breakaway speed, but can you be able to just get away from these defenders? You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get the ball, can you have that vision? Can you be able to block? It's so many different type of traits when it comes down to, or skill sets when it comes down to the running back position. There's a lot of running backs out there that get caught from behind, but I mean, can they run a zone blocking, a run blocking scheme? Vision, all that stuff matters, bro.
Right.
All right, let's see. Okay, shout out to my man Steve White. He said Braylon Allen. Hey, it's so crazy because I've actually been working on a video on him like for the last few days. So I'm gonna be coming out with a video on him. You know what I'm saying? That dude is a beast too. Have you seen Braylon Allen, bro?
Not yet.
Yeah, big boy. Yeah, big boy from Wisconsin. Yeah.
No, I like my big running backs, and and again, I'm okay with the no need for breakaways, like KJ just said. I need you to go get me those tough yards. We have plenty of playmaking ability in Dallas. We're the number one damn offense every damn year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I need those conversions on. First of all, I need to be able to run the ball on 1st and 10 with commitment and some vigor and some force, right? I don't care if there's 11 people in the box. We have 3 all-pro offensive linemen up front, right? With a Terrence Steele, and we'll bring in another center, right? Fergie's learning how to block, right? I need it, like when we stick our hand in the dirt, like, yo, man, we're about to run right. What you about to do about it?
Yeah, fact.
Right? That's why I wanted Derrick Henry. That's why I want, I can't stand this running out of shotgun, right?
Hey, bro, they got it. Hey, young, that's too now. It's nothing wrong with it, but you want to be able to implement, running from single back, doing things like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that shotgun stuff. I mean, these defenses, they sit on that kind of stuff, bro.
Yeah, it's because we're trying to. It's like we're trying to trick the defense. Instead of running the ball to set up the pass, we're trying to pass the ball, set up the run, and it just doesn't work like that. These defenses are too good, right? The San Francisco's defense is too good. KC's defense is too good. Baltimore's defense is too good. I think we play the AFC North next year. Pittsburgh's defense is too good. Cincy has a good defense. Cleveland has a good defense. Like, we better get real physical, and like when it comes down to the 4th quarter, when it's time to put a game away or it's red zone time, I need a powerful mindset, right? And that's what I'm really big on Derrick Henry, right? Because you're not going to run Derrick Henry at a shotgun. You're just not going to do it, right?
Yeah,
you're going to have to change your scheme around him, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm so big on possibly getting him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to do a full breakdown on him, bro.
Yeah. Derrick Henry can still ball. Yeah, Derrick Henry is in a dead offense every year. And he gets the ball a million times, and he still runs for a lot of yards, right? Yeah,
big facts. Facts. Hey, shout out to them KJs. He said, yeah, Allen's at 245 pounds, but I think he looks better because of their offensive line. Yeah, like the thing is with him, I mean, I've been doing a lot of homework on this guy. Really, really big player. He kind of reminds me of a poor man's Derrick Henry, but he's not. He's one of the guys that he can be able to break away. He's a big, imposing type of running back, but there are questions about the blocking. There are questions about this guy. I mean, sometimes he gets tackled, like they'll tackle him in the backfield. So little things like that, man. I just think that if he can be able to get things going, division going east and west, you don't really want to see him going east and west like that. He's such a stiff runner, but with him, he's like that north-south, straightforward type of runner. A few fumbles throughout college. So hopefully, ball security, that's a big deal. But I think that with him being a 4th round fifth round type of pick. I'm going to break him down and do the full-fledged JC breakdown on him, but I think that with him, he's one of the guys that, if he can get with the right offense, zone scheme, running north and south, I think that he can really make a difference, you know what I'm saying, depending on the scheme.
Right.
All right, let's see. Shout out to my man, them KJs. He said, I think we signed Henry. The Joneses will forfeit the offensive line, in my opinion. I think we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
What do you mean forfeit the line? What does he mean by that?
What not sign nobody on the offensive line?
I mean, we have 3 All-Pros.
Yeah,
and Terrence Steele's already signed.
Oh, he's probably thinking about the center position. That's the question.
Hey, I think we broke down 2 centers last week. Hey, we can go get those guys in the first, second round. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, big facts. All right, my man said, we got a tough schedule. Yeah, man. We do have a tough schedule, but at this point now, anybody that we line up against, bro, we gotta wipe them out the way. Don't matter. If this team is about that action, you go out there and do it. Just like with Kansas City Chiefs, they had like the toughest playoff schedule going down. I think they played Miami. They had so many guys they played, bro. The 49ers, so many teams, the Baltimore Ravens, and wiped all of those guys out. So there's no excuses. If this team is about it, they got to go get it done.
And it's like, yeah, we have to build a team to get out of the NFC for sure. But then, like, the real goal is Super Bowl championship. What are we gonna do to go beat Patrick Mahomes? Because Patrick Mahomes, this was the year to beat Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes won a championship with very suspect talent, at least on the offensive side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defense is stout, but the defense really won that game too. Like, they held a good San Francisco offense to very little points, right? But then when it came time to do it, Patrick Mahomes,
go. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. But as far as the running back business, okay, so when it comes down to Saquon, like, give me your thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know you were saying that, you would bring him in, you would bring Derrick Henry in. Do you think that Saquon still got juice left in the tank?
I know Saquon still got juice.
He gets injured a lot, though. But I think last year, not this past year, but the year before, I think he rushed for over 1,300 yards. And usually, whenever you have these running backs on their contract year, this is when they turn up. Think about guys like Josh Jacobs, because the same year he turned up. That's why I thought that Tony Pollard was going to be one of the guys this year to turn up to get that contract, but it didn't never happen. You know what I'm saying? But give me your thoughts when it comes down to Saquon Barkley, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because
Tony Pollard ain't built like Saquon. I think if Saquon came to Dallas, let's just say dreams do come true, right? We go get Saquon and Derek, right? It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect for both of them. Hey, Saquon, we're gonna extend your career by only giving you the ball 15 times a game, so the injury proneness should go down a little bit. Same thing for Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's gone through some ankle issues. He's gone through his fair share of injuries. But if you limit them to only like 15, 18 carries a game, right, or 15, 18 touches, however the math works between both of them, right, whoever's hot, whatever, they both still got it.
Yeah.
You know they got it.
They definitely got it.
And again, these are 2 running backs who are the focal point of their offenses in bad situations. They got New York. The New York Giants was a bad situation. The Tennessee Titans was a bad situation for a lead run. Now imagine if they come down.
Either of those running backs, if they were to come to this team, this is the best quarterback that they've had in their career, bro.
Oh, for sure. And it's just gonna yeah, we hope they have we hope they have a good season. But like, man, this all season is about. It's almost like we need Jerry and them just to do something, right? Just to give us hope. Like after losing to Green Bay, like we should be demanding answers. Like they got to shake it up. They got to this not bringing in big free agent things. It's like, you're the Dallas Cowboys, bro. Like, what are y'all doing, right? Just because you mocked out on Brandon Carr 15 years ago, right? Doesn't mean you need to stop now. Like, come on, man, go get somebody, right?
But that's
again, the way we do contracts, I'm never afraid about the cap, because you can always circumvent the cap, man. You can always do that.
You can always do it. That's why I say, man, like it depends on the draft. It depends on free agency. But I think that with me, I would want to bring in a bruiser. You got to bring in a bruiser. You got to bring. They don't have to be an Ezekiel Elliott. It's hard to be able to find those type of running backs. But if you can bring in a bruiser, and you have to bring in a guy that's that lightning and thunder. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we've been talking about these guys. Like when you're thinking about a guy like what's his name? Bucky Irving, right? So I'm probably gonna end up doing a full-fledged breakdown on him as well. But I mean, putting in so much work. He's about 5'10", 195 pounds.
Ooh, speed.
Yeah, hey, bro, I mean, can be able to get to the edge quickly. And he's one of the guys that has the ability to be able to score on any given play. And I think that with his type of skill set, this is the kind of guy that would be good for Mike McCarthy, because the shotguns, the quick jailbreak screens, just getting the ball in this guy's hands. And I've seen this guy all throughout college. This dude really, really turned up. He had over 1,000 yards rushing this past season. He has the ability to be able to catch the ball, and possibly he could play special teams too. I mean, this dude is really, really lightning. And the slipperiness that I see from him, I see a little bit of what's the guy's name from Alvin Kamara. I can see the slipperiness from him, and whenever he get in open field just like that, being able to just break away from guys. So little things like that, man, that's things that I see when it comes down to this guy. And I think that, in the 3rd round, 4th round, I think that he'll be available. If they want this guy, I think we should be able to go ahead and go grab him, bro.
Right. The good thing about this draft is, like, there's not a lot of first round running backs. So, like, all that hype is going to be, we don't got to worry about that, right? We're going to pick up a running back at some point. My dream scenario is that we go something like center, linebacker, running back, right? Something like that, right? Because I believe revamping the running game is huge, but I'm kind of torn on, because I'm a defensive guy, revamping the stopping of the run defense is probably even bigger, right? I think there's probably a lot more work to do with stopping the run than us running the ball, because we do have 3 All-Pros up front, right? We can't put our hand in the dirt and move people off the line of scrimmage, right? I'm definitely down for really picking any running back, right? If that's your guy, Dallas, and you like him, man, go get him, man.
Yeah, bro. That's why I say, like, but he's that lightning type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not that big, but that's why we were talking about guys like Derrick Henry and bringing in a bigger running back. You know what I'm saying? Because it's critical when it comes down to these guys. I mean, you got the Ray Davises, but Ray Davis is another smaller guy. I think he's about 5'8", but he's like 213 pounds. That's the guy that reminds me of Maurice Jones-Drew, because I'm gonna do a full breakdown on him as well. All the running backs, but I think that with Ray Davis, he's another one of those guys that's that can go in the mid rounds. That can be a gem, bro.
Yeah. So are we? Hey, Cowboy Nation, let me ask y'all a question. Are we done with Deuce Vaughn?
Oh man,
because that was a lot of hype.
Yeah. I think man, it's crazy. He's gonna have to step up once we get to training camp and all that good stuff. But I mean,
is he even gonna get an invite?
Nah.
If we bring in, so let's just say we bring in our bruiser, because I think we all want Derrick Henry, right? That's our number 1, right? And then say we bring back Tony for $4 or $5 million, right? Say we get Derrick and Tony for like 12 combined, right? Which is very possible, right? That's what Spot Track is saying they're worth, like on the low side, whatever, right? So let's just say that, bear with me, $12 million right there, and then we go get a Bucky, right? That's a bruiser, that's a borderline 3-down running back in Tony, borderline, right?
Because they've been doing it for years. But hey, remember when we had Felix Jones and Marion Barber? They had the lightning.
And then you go get your speed guy and Bucky.
Yep.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Bucky's probably going to be a better Deuce. Deuce won't get no invite back to camp.
Yeah, see, the Deuce is not the biggest guy. You have to have the right offensive scheme for him. Just getting him in space. I think he's not a bad player, bro, but it's up to Mike McCarthy to be able to get this guy going. I'm not going to count him out yet, though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because he could. I mean, he was turning up in the preseason, though, but he never had the opportunities like that once he got to the regular season. So that falls on coaching, bro. Right. I can't say that, it's his skill set. I think that once he gets going, if he get the opportunity, I think this guy can be able to thrive in this type of offense.
Right.
All right, let's see. Shout out to them KJs. He said, its move of a discipline, a mindset about stopping the run. DQ was not focused on that, and we suffered. Keep Deuce and Turpin one more year. Yeah, you gotta keep those guys one more year, man. I mean, it's so early in Deuce's career, and he has a lot to play for. His father, he's in the scouting department, so we'll see how it all shakes out. But as far as
we're not going to keep 4 running backs.
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, but these guys got to step up in training camp and mini camp. It's gonna be huge. Yeah. He said.
I thought Turpin had a good. I thought Turpin had a good year last year, and I absolutely agree with the mindset about stopping the run. DQ's defense was predicated on speed and chance, right? Turnovers and sacks, that's chance stuff, right?
Yep.
Coach Zimmer is fundamentals and staying home and making your plays, right? Being stout, right? Stopping the run and then building off stopping the run. You have to earn the right to rush the passer, right? I'm saying that for years. Earn the right to rush the passer. I love Zimmer's hire. Every time I think about it, I love Zimmer more and more.
Yeah, me too, man. That's why I say. But the thing is, the linebacker position is big. I played that linebacker position. That's why I'm going to be locked in and see what these guys do in free agency and this draft. You just want to get those physically imposing players. But I think that guys like Marquise Bell, he could play the safety position. He has a place on his team, bro. Sure. He's not a mop. But the thing is, you have to just put him in the right position.
Right.
And you have to have a strong safety position. That is fine. We know Donovan Wilson is there, but just implement him. We won't have Jaron Kearse. He can go, bro. He can definitely go. But as far as, when you see guys like Marquise Bell playing that linebacker position, that can't happen because a lot of these offensive lines, they play bully ball, they get to the second level, and it just makes it easier for the running backs. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
not good.
Marquise Bell's a hell of a football player. He's just not your everyday starting strong side linebacker. You're 214 pounds, bro. You can't do that. I'm sorry. I'm looking out for you, homie.
Fact.
Hurt out here.
All right, shout out to my man Steve. He said, if we were gonna get a little back, he was my favorite skills. I don't know who he talking about. Oh, he's talking about Bucky or Ty Spears. Maybe Ty Spears. I think they're talking about Ty Spears. Yeah, it's a lot of guys that's gonna be coming out though. But I did want to ask you though before we get out of here though, bro. Like as far as when you're saying Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, who do you think that who is on the hotter seat right now, bro? In your opinion?
Damn.
Hotter seat right now. Damn. Dak Prescott or Mike McCarthy? I had to think about this because somebody asked me.
Well, so it's like, all right, so both technically right as of right now, February 16th, are in the final years of their deal, right? I think they're very tied together. I'm not going to give you a political answer. I'm going to give you one or the other. I think they're very tied together, right? And that both of their contracts end this year, right?
Yep.
I think because of the year Dak had last year, going 36-9, but then also Mike McCarthy going 36-15 over the last 3 years. Man, that's a hard question. Who's on the hotter seat? It's probably Coach. Because he's going to be easier to get rid of than Dak, right? And like most of us said, we're probably going to extend Dak. They're probably going to extend Dak, right? Dak had a great year, right? Mm-hmm. But like but both are very. I would love to say their seats are both hot, but like you said, we're probably going to extend Dak, and that's one of the reasons.
And that's why it's end up happening soon, bro.
And that's one of the reasons why. Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to extend Dak, because I want that seat to be hot. I want him to play with some pressure. I want him to play, it shouldn't be cute anymore in Dallas, man. Like people are too comfortable.
Yeah, that's the problem, bro.
Get uncomfortable.
Get uncomfortable, man.
When you're uncomfortable when you don't have a contract. Right?
Yeah, big fact. Yeah. Or either that, or if you're bringing in other talent too. When Dak Prescott had Tony Romo here that was breathing behind his neck trying to get back on the field, Dak was playing perfect, bro. Right. You want to continue to keep on bringing in a lot of positions, whether if it's the defense or the offense. The thing is, when you're looking at guys like Dak Prescott, just like you said, bro, they're probably going to end up extending them. So mine was pretty much Mike McCarthy. Everybody is locked in on Mike McCarthy to see what this guy is going to do. But one thing that I knew when he came in here, and not when as soon as he came in here, but last year when he took over the offense and you're running that head coach position, it's another job that you got to do. Just like we were talking about with the defensive coordinator position. Sometimes it's good just to be a defensive coordinator. But if you're a head coach and you're running that offense, it's so much pressure on you. You got to get the offense right. You got to make sure you be able to lead these guys. It's huge. So I think that Mike McCarthy, with him, writing's on the wall right now. I got a lot of respect for him getting to 12-5. But at this point now, you got to win the big game when it matters most, bro.
You got to win playoff games, man. You got, like, we're so past, like, we've had so many successful seasons over the past 15, 20 years, right? But man, it's not just Mike and it's not just Dak. It's been from Bill and Tony to Jason and Tony to Jason and Dak, and you know what I'm saying? Like, we just can't get over the hump. I don't know why, because we've had talent, but like people are starting to say, like, it's a culture thing. People are too comfortable. Like we do our training camp in sunny California. Nah, man, we should be in the desert in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Grinding out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
like,
look, they out.
You know what I mean?
Bro, they in the bright lights, bro. When you go to the practice facility, it's like it's a movie over there, bro. I'm like, how could you? I went there. I was like, bro, how could you take this serious? Everything is just so bright lights. Yeah. I mean, the leather seats, the watching the all 22. Everything is bright lights. That's why I say, man, I just don't want them to get so washed into that and just stick to the culture and get things going, man. Because at this point now, man, the time is now Cowboys Nation.
And also, like, we need to stop being like so like I feel like they're sensitive to like what everybody always says about them and whatnot. Like, they always have to respond to, like, obviously, like, the most media hype team. So it's like they don't have to respond to everything. Like, if I'm coach, like if I'm a leader on the team, like, yo, say I'm captain of the defense, right? Or captain of the D-line, whatever, defensive end, right? I'm like, yo, nobody say nothing. I don't care if we have 15 sacks again. But yo, hey, yeah, we need to get better. Yo, good win. It's all about January. That's all you got.
That makes me think about J-Ron Curse, because every time something was going on, you always heard him.
You always heard him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to hear you, bro. Like, good or bad, I don't need to hear you. You say, yo, hey, we had a good game. We're going to learn from it, get better. Next week, right? But really, it's all about January. All these wins are going to mount us. We have to get to January, but it's only and all about January. Right?
Yeah, big facts. Big facts.
You develop the team over the course of a year, right? Which starts now, right? But it all comes to a head in January, right? What are you doing in January, right? Mm-hmm. And like, who's the accountability guy, right? Who's holding your feet to the fire? Who's like, yo, JC, why you missed class today, bro?
Hey, like, listen, it should be DeMarcus Lawrence, but DeMarcus Lawrence is saying that they quit. Like,
he's saying they're tired. He's saying they're tired.
Like I was saying in the last live stream, like, you do not want to have that type of energy. Like, all the guys from the past, when you think about the Greg Ellises that's on the coaching staff now, when you think about the DeMarcus Wares, all of those guys, they never had that type of energy. Like, you know, you tend to, you know, when people say things like that, you kind of just feel what they saying and say, man, like, he's not built for it. You know what I'm saying? So when you, at this point now, when you're getting older, don't say that at this time, because he's the guy that, you know, these young guys are going to look up to when it really matters most. You be that leader on the team, and if he can be that leader, I think that we can be able to take that next step. But it was hard to see him say that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And like, bro,
we've been captains, you know, in high school. We've been captains football, been in that gridiron. You know, we ain't never have that kind of energy, bro.
And like, bro, like, I know football hard, right? But you're a millionaire. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. Right? Hey, Deion. Remember Deion said he'd never do coach the NFL because he don't know how serious these NFL guys are because they're getting paid.
Right. So
I remember you get that million.
Yeah. So like, when you get millions, like, bro, I don't care how tired you are. When I turn on my TV on Sunday, I expect you to play like a professional football player, right? And professionals, in my definition, play 110% every snap they're out there. There's no excuses. You play your damn heart out.
Yeah.
Because you're getting paid.
Yeah. You're
getting paid.
Come
on, bro. You're getting paid millions of dollars.
Yeah. Big fact.
$1 million.
Big fact. All right, y'all. Hey, this was good, man. Hey, make sure y'all smash this like button for me, man. Y'all already know what it is. Another show. We got so much work to do. Linebackers, we'll probably get back on here in the next few days and talk about these linebackers and break a few other things down. it's the off season, Captain Rob. This is how we gotta get down, man. It's so much work to get going, brother.
Yo, and it's only February, dog. We even got into like the free agency hype yet, man. It's so exciting, dog. It's exciting times. This is where teams can get better, right? Yep. We're gonna start to see the re-signings and the restructuring. We're gonna start to really see our cap develop.
That's what we gotta talk about the next show, bro.
What was that?
Yeah, the cap. You know what I'm saying? Restructures and all that stuff, and how because it's a laundry list of guys, bro.
Oh, bro, and I'm telling you, Nation, like I got the blueprint. It's like right here. Like I got all the cuts. I got all the restructures. I got the extensions. I got the 2 dudes you could trade, right? And you get a piece, right? Mm-hmm. We'll say that for next show. I'm telling you, like it's exciting. I just wish Jerry was in the comment right now. I mean, Jerry, Jerry, listen. Yeah,
I know, right? Hey, they better listen, man, because at this point now, look, time is running out. But we got.
Hey, KJ, right now we're minus 14 million cap. KJ, right now we're minus 14.
But it can be a lot more. It can definitely be a lot more. Yeah,
I'll leave it with here. We have a possibility of creating $82 million in cap room.
82. Long as we don't stress ourselves out with it, though, bro. That's the only thing. That's why we'll definitely break that down. You don't want to stress. You don't want to stress it out, but I think these guys got to get better. They got to get better at this point now. And you got Mike Zimmer. You got these defensive line coaches. I know they're going to be hungry to get some new faces in here. And when you think about it, before we get out of here, Dan Quinn just bringing in a plethora of coaches on our side of town. The Wits, a lot of guys. When you think about the defensive players that's free agents this year, I think a few of those guys are going to be going to Washington. Keep in mind when I say that, because a lot of times when you got these coaches, they tend to bring a lot of their players too. So you're bringing in coaches, you're going to bring in players too. So get ready for some of these free agents not to be on the Dallas Cowboys this year, but hopefully the Dallas Cowboys, they can go out there and be proactive and just go out there and go get some talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And some big talent,
big talent. Not just no bodies.
Big bodies.
They call them Jags, right? Just another guy.
Hey, if you're a 250-pound linebacker, man, you come play with me, bro.
Yeah,
I'll teach you the rest. Right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I can't have these 214 guys no more.
Yeah, he said that's why I said defense going to be totally different. It's
going to be totally different,
bro. New energy. Yeah. All right, man. Hey, thank y'all so much for tapping in with us, man, in the JC Lounge. I appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to y'all soon and see y'all for another show. Righty.